Namaste, everyone. Welcome to this program on Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu by Dr. Mala Kapadia. My name is Smriti Adinarayanan, and I'm the co-founder of Anadi Foundation. And very, very happy to meet you all.
Namaste, everyone.
Welcome to this Very happy to meet you all on this auspicious Gopashtami as well. Let us begin with a small invocation. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So an invocation sets the right inner attitude to be able to receive whatever is offered to us. And this invocation from the Upanishads takes us from a limited understanding of the truth to a more expansive understanding. As a child, we used to think that the sun rises beyond the building or the sun rises in the east. But when we look at it, when we explore further, as we learn further, we understand that the sun is not rising or setting, it's the earth which is rotating, right? But nevertheless, and when we were young, that was the truth. That was evident to us, and that was the truth. But as more and more jnana dawns in, our life or understanding becomes much more expansive. So similarly, if you see, the whole exploration on Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu has not just been a project for us, right? It has been a very transforming experience, and I'm sure people who participated in the study also looked at it that way. So it is really wonderful that we have gotten this opportunity to undertake such a study. The way we will be doing this session is I'll just provide a brief introduction to Anadi Foundation. I'll introduce Dr. Mala, and she will take it forward in explaining the larger context and the different aspects of Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu. We have our researcher Sachi here who will go into the project, and of course after that will be the most awaited part of it in terms of the gift hampers that we are about to announce. So we started Anadi Foundation in 2015. And since then, it has been a wonderful journey. Adinaranji and I started it in 2015, and we have our ashram near Payani. And we also have a Goshala and a Gurukulam here. We started the Gurukulam, Dharma Gurukulam in 2021. Have about 27 children going through education in Sanskritam, Ayurveda, Bharate, Ganita, Jyotisha, Yoga Shastra, and Gau Vijnana. We have about 40 desi cows and bulls, and we have integrated sustainability, where we have eliminated the use of LPG, and we also use Gau-based products for agriculture, whatever small agriculture that we do. So that way, an ashram is a space which is a non-judgmental space, which gives, ashraya, where people from different backgrounds, different thought processes, all working towards the spiritual well-being of everyone have gathered here. So we have grihasthas at the ashram, we have initiated brahmacharis at the ashram, all into their own sadhana path. We welcome you all to visit our ashram whenever it's possible. And very happy to introduce Dr. Mala Kapadia here. Dr. Mala Kapadia is the director of the Anadi Transdisciplinary Research Initiatives. She recently joined us, and she is the project PI of the Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu, sanctioned by the Ministry of Education, IKS, or Indian Knowledge Systems Division. And she has been with Rishihood University, and she's also the founder of Human Potential Consulting, named Tame the Monkey. She was an adjunct professor with SP Jain, the School of Global Management at Dubai, Singapore, Sydney, and Mumbai. And she has not just stopped with management education, and she has done some very, very fundamental work in the area of Indian psychology. She's on various national and international committees that design various aspects of Indian knowledge systems, curriculum, programs, initiatives. Recently, she has been involved with training teachers, higher education teachers, and faculty members all over India on the Indian knowledge system training programs. And we're very happy to have her here, and hope all of you benefit from this session. Namaste, Malaji. Welcome to this
Ji.
and over to you on this auspicious occasion.
Dhanyavada, Smriti ji. I'll just share my PowerPoint. You need to, Smriti ji?
Yes, I made you.
Sure, got it. Yeah. Full screen. So, namaskaram, swagatam everyone. Before I begin my presentation, I express my gratitude, of course, to the IKS division, Dr. Gantimurthy ji and his entire team for doing wonderful work in IKS research and faculty training development. I also express my gratitude to Anadi Foundation because they have created this beautiful space. It's unfortunate, like today, I'm not there personally, physically at Anadi, but it's a wonderful, beautiful space where Hita and Sukha Ayu, as we will discover now what it is actually being lived. It's not in theory, but it's being lived. So Adi ji and Smriti ji, with pranams to the Guru Parampara. I remember Sri Aurobindo that he had said, we do not belong to the past, but to the noons of the future. And therefore, when we say Bharatiya Gyan Parampara or IKS, many people, especially the faculty, who have been living like this, only teaching what their subject is. And for them, the new education policy requiring interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary approach was finding it difficult. And some faculty even asked us that, when we are going on one level to Chandrayaan, so why are you coming here and teaching us something from Veda, something from Ayurveda, which is outdated? And this is where I realized that the need to clarify how we, as coming from Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, we are rooted at one level in Sanatan Dharma, but at another level, the Sanatan Dharma is Nitya Nutana. It's always adapting, recreating itself, and we just need to recontextualize all that we know or have learned. Where we are today, we need to know that, right? So everyone knows we are in a VUCA world, volcanic, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, volatile, right? It's very volcanic situation, very volatile situation when we don't know what's going to happen next. Then there is pandemic that we have just overcome. And both these worlds, the VUCA world as well as the pandemic world, I would say are a result of 4E crises that we at humanity are experiencing. The economic recession, which becomes a crisis, everyone is aware. And unfortunately, recently, few countries have started talking about their financial situation and saying that, oh, we are going through economic recession and a crisis. Emotional crisis, pandemic has highlighted that. In fact, WHO says mental health is the next pandemic. And we know that there are countries like Japan who are very developed nations, but they have ministries of loneliness. And then there are many other countries which have ministries for happiness, which means people are not happy emotionally and they are very extremely lonely. So what is happening? Why this crisis? If there is a development in their country, then there is, of course, ecological crisis, which is very much the climate change that we all have been experiencing. However, the fourth crisis and this is what we have not yet been able to identify as a real crisis, is the ethical crisis. All the three other crises, economic, emotional, and ecological, in my opinion, come from our ethical crisis, where the dharma, the rootedness in dharma at individual level, collectively at society level, nation level, and even global level is forgotten. There are, of course, some side effects, right, of every negative aspect in life. This crisis also has a positive side effect, I would say, where post-pandemic people have started talking of new normal, right? So they realize that whatever was normal for us was not the right way of living. So what have been the new normal? People have slowed down. Many people who had left their cities or metros and gone back to the rural area, gone back to smaller towns, have not gone back to metros. You know, the work from home has helped us slow down. And Henry Thoreau, one of my very favorite philosopher, he had said this, that we as humanity are living too fast rather than deep. So slowing down has helped us go deeper in our own life. The moment we go deeper and slow down, we start questioning the status quo. What we thought was normal, there is more awareness that this is not normal. Health, unfortunately, had stopped being a self-responsibility. You know, somewhere we had outsourced our health also to the pharmaceutical industry and the medical healthcare fraternity. However, now we realize that we need to take the responsibility for our own health in our own hands. Therefore, there are paradigm shifts happening. Satish Kumar, a Jain monk, settled in UK for many years and very much connected with the soil and soul. He says that this is a point of return. Many a time in our depression, we say this is point of no return. You know, we as humanity, we as planet Earth, we have reached a point of no return. However, Satish Kumar says this is a paradigm shift time and a point of return. I would say it's a point of return to dharmic way of living. And when I say dharma, dharma does not mean religion, right? Most of you would agree that dharma is dharayati iti dharma. It comes from a root which is about sustainability. So all that we talk as what is dharmic gets connected at one level with individual living, at another level with sustainability at a global and universal level. Therefore, what we also need new paradigms to measure wellness, well-being, and happiness. Why these three words are being used? Why can't we just have one word, right? But unfortunately, this is how the Western world or the outside Bharat paradigms have been. So they see wellness as physical, well-being as emotional and psychological, and happiness as being a third factor. I did a lot of research on all the available surveys, and I realized that most of them are not holistic. So there are different surveys measuring very limited aspect of our life. Also, there is a biased sampling. And this was one of my biggest challenge in this project. How do you pick up sample? Who do you send the survey to? Also, the measuring or the numbers always do not reveal a reality. In 2019 Bloomberg report on world's health, Spain was the healthiest nation. 2020 March, by the time pandemic was announced, Spain was the first country to collapse and have major health problems. Why would this happen? So there is something wrong in what the surveys are capturing, right? The data framework or the worldview, how they define health. So the definition of health itself needs a redefinition. Also, I realized during my almost 4 years of research, this project has been going on only for 1.5 years now. But my research in this area is more than 4 years. And I realized that the definition of developed country, developing country, and underdeveloped countries is based only on economic parameters and very external materialistic basis. It has nothing to do with how the human beings at the core of their heart are feeling, thinking, and living. Today, when we read stories about the so-called developed countries, and we feel shocked that they are neither physically healthy, they are not mentally healthy. They are not living in a society which is healthy. Also, when we talk of well-being, wellness, and happiness, age is a number, right? A lot of countries have longer longevity of human life. However, look at the quality of their life. Most of them are in old age home. They are without their family. Many of them are on wheelchair, have Alzheimer. They don't recognize anyone. They are taken care by nursing staff and not their family. And this is where the difference of what we call progress and development and what in India, what we consider Ayurveda, Swasthya, Sukha, I realized is very different. There is a huge paradigm shift. They are like two different worlds. And this is where you realize that, unfortunately, most of the global surveys on happiness show India on a very low number. I mean, countries like Ukraine, Pakistan, and even Bangladesh or Sri Lanka are supposed to be happier than us. Is that a reality? Or is there a biased sampling? Is it a different worldview with which they are defining happiness? And this is where I realize that we certainly need a Bharatiya framework and an index. So framework gives us a definition of how do we look at well-being and happiness. And an index somewhere helps us qualitatively and quantitatively create measurement of that definition. So the foundation is, of course, Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, which gives us a drashti, right? An underlying worldview. How do I look at the world? What is my view of the world? How am I interconnected with the cosmos? What is my relationship with other people? What is my relationship with ecology? Is nature a resource that I need to consume for my happiness? Or am I a part of the nature? That's the worldview that Ayurveda gives us. That's the worldview that our Bharatiya Gyan Parampara gives us. Also, are human beings a resource to be used post-industrial revolution? People have not remained human beings, but they have become human resource. Resource means use them, use their talent, use their hands, use their skills, use their knowledge. There is so much stress when they are being used, and then they collapse. How do you create a shift from this framework? Also, Bharatiya Gyan Parampara has a Laukik Prayojana. It's not about philosophy which is high on pedestal and has nothing to do with our everyday life. But Laukik Prayojana is a societal, individual, day-to-day application. And this is where I realized that Hita and Sukha Ayu framework, based on Ayurveda, gives us 3 meta. Now, we all know meta means much higher than our normal view, right? Today, most of us, when we drive, we use GPS, we use Google Maps to find out the route. How were they able to create that? Only by an aerial view, right? That, okay, this lane is going here, this road is going there. However, when it comes to life, where does this meta view come from? And I realized that this meta view to us comes from our Shastra. One of the Shastra that I have chosen for this framework and survey, which is a part of the index, is Ayurveda. As the name suggests, what is Ayurveda? It's a Veda, knowledge of Ayu. And now, very, very interestingly, English as a language becomes a very limiting factor in understanding Ayurveda, right? Because most books in English would translate Ayu as life, right? And what is life? They do not really describe well. However, in Ayurveda, there is a very comprehensive definition of what our Ayu is. What is the purpose of our Ayu? So Ayu is a sanyoga of Sharira, Mana, Indriya, and Atma. So it actually gives us a beautiful framework of what a human being is. Nowhere in the Western psychology, there is an understanding of human being which is so holistic. That becomes meta-knowledge. From that meta-knowledge comes our metacognition that, okay, if these are the four realities, how are we interconnected with the cosmos? And this is where there are Maulik Siddhanta or basic principles of Ayurveda, which tell us there is a Loka Purusha Siddhanta. Loka means cosmos, the outer world, not just our own planet, but the entire universe. And Purusha is not a gender-based word. Purush means a human being. There is a Samya, not just Samya, but we have heard this, Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande, right? Brahmand and Pinda. Brahmand is a cosmos, Pind is me. We are made up of the same stuff. So there comes aha feeling of metacognition. And as Smritiji beautifully started about the, analogy of sun, right? That we see the sun rising in the east and we think the sun is rising. And this is pure science. Ayurveda actually begins with Padartha Vijnana, which means physics, or in today's language, I would even call it quantum physics. It begins with cosmology, Srishti ki Utpatti, and then how we are coming out of that Srishti. So we and the cosmos are not two different things. Once we understand this metacognition, obviously our entire life decisions that we take, from waking up in the morning till sleeping at night, choosing a vocation, choosing a career, choosing what we study, how we study, what we eat, what we don't eat, what we wear, how we behave, what is our interpersonal relationship which comes in meta values, what profession we choose, right? Everything becomes very clear. It's like correcting our lens with which we were looking at our life. Most of the wellness surveys talk only of physical health. Most of the well-being surveys only talk of psychological health. Most of the happiness surveys are very vague on how they define happiness. However, I realize that in Ayurveda, going back to Ayu and why we have Ayu, Ayu is given to us to fulfill four Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And to fulfill those Purushartha, we have been given this life, we have been given this body and manas. Very simple. The moment you realize this, all the meta values start becoming clear. Because all the decisions we take have to be from the dharmic point of view. Is it sustainable? Is it good for me? Is it good for others? It is good for the cosmos. And therefore, Hita and Sukha are two types of Ayu defined in Ayurveda. The other bipolar extreme is Ahita and Dukha. And on that spectrum, we are somewhere in between, right? None of us are leading 100% Hita Ayu or 100% Ahita Ayu. None of us are leading 100% Sukha Ayu or 100% Dukha Ayu. However, it's like a pendulum, right? Our everyday and our entire life goes in between. The moment we understand this framework, we become more knowledgeable, more conscious of everyday choices that we make. Is it leading to Hita? Is it leading to Sukha? And obviously, the moment we understand this framework and the moment we start looking at our choices from this lens, we start becoming more aware of shifting our life to Hita and Sukha. To be honest, the entire VUCA and pandemic life that I talked about is honestly a Hita and Dukha. So this is a possibility, right? I'm not ending this presentation with a negative note that, oh, we all are in Ahita and we all are in Dukha. But I am very optimistic. Whatever your choices before filling up this survey, and whatever your choices now after filling up the survey, would at least have created an awareness. Obviously, there is a long journey, right? We are working at Anadi. We are working on creating curriculum from school level to higher education level, to corporate level, to parents. Bhutan was a country that created this shift, right? Their happiness, gross happiness survey way back in 2011 or 12, I think, became globally acceptable. And this is our aim, that we need to invest in Hita and Sukha Ayu at individual level, continue spreading this framework, spreading this index, continuously gathering data post our work on our own self. So we may come back to you next year, year after that, and do a longitudinal study as well, so that we capture that data and we are able to impact the policy decisions. Policy decision on health and wellness, policy decision on agriculture, because our health is intimately connected with agriculture, policy education on education, what should be a part of education. At the moment, all these three ministries work in silos. They have nothing to do with each other. But hopefully at the end of 5 years, we would have enough literature. We all collectively would have created enough literature, enough training programs, enough models and modules, enough corporates who are actually creating a living experience of these frameworks, so that we are able to create Bharat as a real Vishwaguru again. So, dhanyavadaha. Smriti ji, back to you.
Thank you, Malaji, for beautifully setting the context and reminding us the importance of focusing on this holistic health perspective. And we do see that globally how the view is also changing. Many people, many countries are actually looking at traditional wisdom to enhance their health. And it's really wonderful that, so many steps are being taken in the country. As you say, there are so many departments and divisions that have been created exclusively to focus on these dimensions. So now I would like to invite Sachi Anjunkar, who is the researcher on this particular project, to brief us about the project, and then we will take it forward from there. Sachi, over to you.
Also, Sachi, if you want to invite 4 or 5 participants to share their experience very briefly in one minute, what did they feel while filling up this questionnaire? What happened?
Yes. So we have a few participants here who would like to share, who have come forward, and I would like to call their name one by one and ask them to share. So, Ms. Renuka Joshi, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you so much, Sachi ji, and namaste Vinayak ji, namaste Mala ji. Vinayak sir, I've got the opportunity to listen to your class during when I was in Chinmaya, and yes, Mala ma'am, like you said in the end of the presentation, that the survey was not just a form for me, but it generated few insights about my own lifestyle. That is what also I was thinking. So some few of the questions I don't remember the structure, but few of the questions were like, what would I do? Would I be helping other if I was not equipped with that help? Would I do something like that? So such questions really challenged my thought process, and I was into thinking that, would I do it or not? So, or would I be loyal to this person? If I feel that this person is unethical, then I have to go back to my own value systems and what were they. So those things were interesting, and plus I also liked how you inculcated the concepts of Ayurveda into the well-being, plus adding the happiness aspect. So I've read about few correlations about happiness and health, but I think this is one of a kind. So I am so excited to or any of your members to gain the further understanding of this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renuka ji. Now I would like to call Vamshi Krishna Odapalli ji.
Namaskar. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me for this particular thing. So, initially, I found survey to be well organized. Most of the questions were easy to understand, but my general feedback is for some of the questions were very hard to understand because I'm not much into divine and spirituality. So then once in the when I'm trying to understand the questions, I felt really good, and in fact answering this questionnaire help me to rethink on some parameters where I can really improve my lifestyle. So this questionnaire has given me a nudge, so rethink on that, and so I'm really happy to be the part of this questionnaire. Yeah, so entire project. So in fact, if something same kind of projects are there, and if you want me to volunteer to answer this, I'm really happy to be part of that as well. Thank you.
Dhanyawad, Vamshi ji. We also have
Sachi,
3
there
more
is-
participants.
Sachi, I see hand coming up in Anadi Foundation. Is that
It's a clapping hand.
it's a clapping hand. Okay, sorry. Forgive my technical ignorance.
Ji. Now I would like to call Aniruddha Patel ji to share his experience.
Namaste everyone, Namaste Mala ma'am, Namaste Vinayak sir, Namaste Smriti ma'am. So first of all, thank you for sharing this survey. And I would also like to be volunteer for this research if needed anytime. And participating in this survey was really eye-opening for me. And there were certain sections, certain parts which led me to deeply reflect how I feel about giving back to society. And when we share what we have with us and those who don't, it really made me feel happy and really glad to be part of this survey. Thank you so much.
Dhanyawad, Aniruddha ji. Now we have yes, we have Srivani Sharma ji who would like to say something.
Namaste, everyone. While filling that questionnaire, I felt very happy and understood that it's a well-being is holistic, both spiritually and physically. That's so physically and psychologically. You are going to probe into our details, and I understood this program is well designed, and it's also going to yield wonderful results. So I enjoyed filling up the questionnaire. I felt very happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Dhanyawad, Srivani ji. We also have Uday Alawala ji who would like to share his experience.
Udayji, we are not able to hear you.
Is he there, Sachi? He needs to unmute, Udayji.
Yes.
He's
He's
mute, but we can't hear him.
Yeah. No, okay. Ask the next person, Sachi, because then we need to now everyone is waiting to know who are the.
yes. I would like to call Sanket Kambleji to proceed on how his experience was.
Thank you, Sachi. Namaste, Malaji. Namaste, Smritiji. So I've been a student of Malaji from last 3 years, and it was a privilege for me to learn from her directly and seek guidance in different parts of life. So when we talk about Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu, when I got introduced to this subject, I felt that this is the need of the hour, because when we used to study Western frameworks, the happiness index or freedom index, everything, those were pretty much subjective, and even the subjective surveys which were conducted, as Malaji said, they were very limited, and they could not consider aspects like cultural values, even lifestyle. So this particular survey or framework which is created opens up a new paradigm, I would say, that we are not just focused on economic aspect of livelihood. Okay, I'm happy not just because I make good amount of money, but also about our lifestyle. And then one framework which Malaji taught us personally was the iceberg model, where we only focus on the top of the surface, but not the bottom one. So I think overall we are only focusing on the behavioral aspects, even if it is about economics, even if it about living aspect, but not about the factors which leads to those behaviors. So the challenge I personally felt initially was how would we these are all the qualitative aspect. How would we quantify it? So I think Hita Ayu and Sukha Ayu framework would open that channel, and it will also open channel for new dialogues. So that, like she spoke about, how we can bring it in policy ecosystem. So I think this is a very useful framework, and I'm very much happy, to be part of this particular survey and filling this up. So yeah, again, I'm also open to assist in any situation or any cause. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, Dhanyawad Sanketji. Now I would briefly talk about how the survey is being developed. I know everyone is waiting for the announcement. So, yes. So, Hita Ayu Sukha Ayu survey is the result of Dr. Mala Kapadia's lifelong research on Ayurveda and health, and it has been drawn upon the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda that she mentioned, and even the modern scientific principles. So, the inception of the project, of the Hita Ayu Sukha Ayu project, is mainly rooted in the deeper perspective of Ayurveda from the Brihat Trai, or the three most important texts in Ayurveda: the Charaka Samhita, the Shishruta Samhita, and the Ashtangam Hridayam. So this all the questions that we have in the survey, they were crafted with to reflect the diverse experience of health, including the dietary habit, like many of you mentioned, the lifestyle choices, mental health, and even the social interaction. So all these items were tested to pilot study, and then we have arrived to the final questionnaire, which was deduced via statistical analysis. This is now has become a multi-dimensional approach, and this is what is sets us apart from the other surveys like Bhutan that ma'am mentioned. So because we are bringing in a very comprehensive understanding of an individual well-being. When we compare the Hita Ayu Sukha Ayu survey to other global surveys, there are a few distinctions I would like to mention. Most of the Western surveys, they focus narrowly on the physical health aspect or the specific disease state, as or say external factors leading to it, and they typically employed quantitative method. Means they're giving priority to the statistical data over the individual's qualitative, like their personal experience. But here in Hita Ayu Sukha Ayu project, we have adopted both quantitative as well as the qualitative approach. This project dwells deeper in the individual daily routine, their emotional state, their ethical stand, the environmental factors, providing more of a nuanced understanding of health. So, since most of the Western and other surveys of health are reactive, they're focusing on identifying and managing the health issues. The understanding of wellness, well being, and happiness has become very tangible, materialistic, and limited. As ma'am mentioned earlier, and this is what posed a challenge for us also in terms of statistical analysis, because like ma'am earlier mentioned, the numbers when are not the way they reflect the reality. Sometimes yes, it doesn't reflect realities, and which was the case for us, and we use a very unique approach for statistical analysis. And to make way for our Hita Sukha Ayu project, the survey to be more proactive and aiming to promote a overall well-being and prevent health problems even before they arise. So yes, and I would also, now that our Hita Sukha Ayu project is leading its way and becoming a significant advancement in the field of survey, all the health surveys together, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude on the behalf of HSA project team, Anadi Foundation, and also Dr. Mala Kapadia ma'am, to our esteemed expert who have guided us in the field of Ayurveda, psychology, and statistics, and they have become a very instrumental part of our HSA survey. So thank you, experts. Yes. Mala ma'am, over to you now.
Smriti ji, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mala and Sachi, for these wonderful insights. So I'll just share my screen. So we have Ayurveda gift hampers we had mentioned. So we have selected 30 people of the 500 plus participants who were part of the survey. So we have Pooja from Amravati, Tingujam, Imphal, Dr. Ashmila Kollam, Ganesh ji from Pune, Aniruddha, Hyderabad, Dr. Bornali, Assam, Gargi, Bengaluru, Mahima, Gurgaon, Rakesh, Bangalore, Shobha, Coimbatore, Upama, Mumbai, Srinidhi, Coimbatore, Shashi, Patna, Veena, Mumbai, Suraj, Maharashtra, Ashok, Hyderabad, Tenzin, Varanasi, Esakiyamal, Coimbatore, Krishna Kanaya, Narsampet, Harshdeep, Kolkata, Akash, Ahmedabad, Maitreyi, Secunderabad, Dinesh Chand, Meerut, Pandya, Gujarat, Hemant, Usaipur, Monisha, Kodagu, Uday, Pune, Manikandan, Chennai, Sriragini, Hyderabad, Romana Alam, Kolkata. So our congratulations to the winners of the hampers, and very, very happy, and thanks a lot for your wholehearted participation in the survey, and congratulations again. Malaji, would you like to say something?
Yeah, just I'm displaying there are 7 products. So if you want to stop sharing the screen, Smriti ji.
Yes, I'll do that.
Sure.
Just figuring out how to stop sharing. Are you still seeing my screen?
Yeah, we are still seeing it. You'll have to go up.
Yeah.
And there you will have, view options.
Find it in the menu. Strange, I'm not able to see the stop screen. Okay. Has it stopped?
No, not yet.
Co-host can stop this. Co-host has the opportunity to stop the screen.
Okay, can
We
you
have that.
try?
I think Malaji or Sachi ji
Yeah,
can.
yeah, I just did that. But it's still not stopping.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering why it isn't stopping. Nevertheless,
Okay. Maybe what I need to do is
I
okay,
put you on
sharing
spot.
mine. No. I'm sharing mine now, and now I'll stop. Yeah, so it's gone. Right? Okay, G. So everyone, all the winners, these are the wonderful products by Ashirwad Health Trust. This is how we begin day in Ayurveda, right? So there is Anu Tailam for your nasya, there is Anjana for your eyes, then there is Vachala Shunti for your cough related issues. There is Erimidadi Tailam for gargling. Then there is Shirvala Tailam, which is excellent for the head, right? We all use our brain so much. And also there is Rasnadi, Varti. So if there is cough, you can just burn it. I'm not opening it. It's a packed one. You open it, burn it, and sniff it. So you'll actually be able to use all these products. Then there is Rasnadi Churnam, which after your hair bath, you take a pinch of it and apply on your head and you sniff it a little. I have been using Dinacharya kits for many, many years, and that they have become a part of my travel kit, because you realize that the moment we take care of the body, right, and the manas, they all act together, then we are more productive, more creative, and our interpersonal relationships also get impacted in a very positive way. So Sachi will write to you to have your addresses, all those who have got the gift hampers. And I hope it inspires everyone else to, actually make it a part of their everyday life. Bahu dhanyavadaha. So I'm grateful to Dr. Ram Kumar, the founder of Vaidyagrama Ayurvedic Healing Village, and also he's heading the Ashirwad Health Trust now. So I'm so grateful to him for providing these gift hampers.
Dhanyavad, everyone. Let us conclude with an invocation. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Dhanyavad, everyone.